What up, Mackies and Maniacs? What's up, YouTube? Just decided to check in, man. I'm a little bit late, so probably won't go the full hour like I normally do. Um, Interesting developments in the world and in prison. Yeah, I seen those China and Russian boats near Alaska. They were in international waters, so there's no imminent threat that you guys was telling me about yesterday. I was unaware of, but there's no imminent threat. Just a little more ships than normal. That's all. What's up, Compton girl? You first today? Shout out to Compton. J Ship, what up? Yeah, man. And then the prison, the whole prison thing. Like I was out of the loop, but I see everybody knew a little bit of what was going on in California prisons, specifically Salinas Valley, where a Crip supposedly stuck a Mexican mafia, got transferred, hit the yard in Salinas Valley, and the blacks rolled with him. Blacks was like, we ain't giving up nothing, we ain't checking our own. So it supposedly went down. South Side got off in response. So now everything's up in the air. What happens when they come off lockdown? So I was unaware of that. At this time, we don't know who the Crip is. At least all the people I reached out to. We don't know who that Crip is, but apparently it's a Crip that did a lot of time. A Crip that's down for his. And the homies on the yard, the blacks on the yard, at least the Crips, at this point, we're just saying the Crips, stay down like how it's supposed to be. So war is imminent when that happens, and unfortunately, some of the brothers are caught up in that. I wish you brothers come home. I wish you brothers get up out of there so you don't have to deal with that. There's a lot of lifers out now, and they're particularly happy that they don't have to deal with that stuff every day anymore. But yeah, what up, y'all? I'm trying to lay off the sports today. Let's hold over to the sports channel. But Goob is going to give out special horse picks every Thursday evening. We'll have Goob come on for about 7 or 10 minutes. We can't give Goob too much time, man. Goob will take 10 minutes to tell you what horse is going to win one race. But yeah, Goob will be on as a special guest to give his horse picks. Like I said, Glasses Malone will be coming on every big fight to talk about boxing. I hear they just trying to keep 13 versus Crips. That's cool if they do, but that's bad too. Because we always talk about how Crips was always on their own against Sereno. So that means other blacks are sitting it out, which is kind of foul, but it is what it is. Crips have survived fighting their own battles for decades since Raymond Washington went to prison. So that's how it will apparently remain. But again, my concern is the brothers get up out of there safe, healthy, and well. And at the same time, I think it's a great thing to hear that blacks are still standing up for other blacks at this particular time on prison yards, all the way to Alabama on the yard with Maverick, my local. Right, all right, all right. Monique Hill, what's up? Stan, what's up? Yeah, so it's cool if 13 and 14 don't ride together, but again, we have to see how it play out. And basically, those are like threats. Like if other blacks participate, then it's on with all black. A lot of other blacks don't want to participate. You know that to be a fact. Shit, if it ain't their business, they don't tend to get in it. But sometimes black ride with black, no matter what group or what flag you represent. Glad to hear our people as a tribe stuck together. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, man, what's up, y'all? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I was telling Baby Crazy, OG Steve, good looking out. I was telling I was telling Baby Crazy that I was contemplating making the next 4 days about Crips. And without going too far into it or exposing the conversation, I was thinking of actually breaking down. Well, we haven't heard BGF's name, so I don't know. BGF, a lot of older dudes nowadays. But anyway, um, I was going to talk about how Crips have changed over the years, what Cripping was about, and how things changed, and how all these individual leaders, these writers, and what have you, let faulty stuff go down on their watch, and that's how it got out of control. No discipline, no repercussions for doing wrong things, and how actually, man, there's a missing piece to all these different conversations about OGs in prison, and that's, man, them dudes was, some of those dudes, let's say booty bandits. That means you was taking booty. You wasn't just having a situation with a homosexual or making a guy your girl, right? They were really sodomizing dudes and taking it. So there's some dudes out there, man, that these topics are probably real sensitive to, because they are the victims, and for people to act like it didn't happen, that's kind of disrespect to them, on top of disrespect in the first place. But so I wanted to talk about how things changed, how there was so much love within the Crips. Crips really loved each other. Crips really protected each other and were down. And even in the midst of rat packing, you know, Crips wasn't always right. Crips would take advantage, 5-on-1, 4-on-1, those type of things, 3-on-1. But Crips robbed Crips. Crips beat up Crips. Crips took other Crips' store. Crips extorted Crips. So Crips wasn't always this glee club. Like, we weren't in the choir. You know, everything wasn't just so godly. And I just want to make that point, emphasize to you guys that, yeah, Crips may not be all of that now. Crips may not be your role model. If you're a youngster, you don't want to be a Crip right now. You don't want to join the organization. You can represent your family, and you can go on and find you a job, because eventually you're going to get a job. These dudes doing 30, 40 years in prison come home and do what? They get a job. So you might as well get a head start early, man. Get you a job, take care of your family, put you some money up, 401k or whatever, so you won't be in the situation that a lot of us are in. I mean, you see grown men now, grown men in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. I think you might have one in the 70s, and we got to come on here on YouTube to pay our bills. And unfortunately, the same behavior goes on. People come on here starting drama. People start misrepresenting Crip or blood. People start coming on here with personal animosity, hating on each other, gossiping, condoning snitching, condoning homosexuality. So it's all spilling over to YouTube now. You don't want to be one of those guys. I'm here to tell you, you don't want to be me. You don't want to be these other YouTube personalities. You want to take advantage of living your life the right way. Now, if you already in the gang and you gang banging and you 6 feet deep into it, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about those that are not gang banging yet, or those that have not established themselves in the set yet. Man, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm here to tell you, don't do it. Because if you're on YouTube, you getting your information from YouTube, or you trying to look at YouTube videos to decide if you want to bang and how hard you want to be, boy, you are being misled. You are being misled. So I'm going to say this. If you can avoid the politics, if you can avoid becoming a hardcore gang member, if your heart is not in it, if you're not ready to do time for what your homeboy did, if you're not ready to stand firm when y'all get caught doing criminal activity, man, stay away from it. Stay away from it, man. This whole new era of screwing up the game, it's a bad look to a lot of Crips to really put their heart into it and really put their soul into it. And man, it's a crazy situation. So I just want to say, man, if you don't gang bang, or you haven't got deep off into it, man, leave it alone, man. Leave it alone, because you're not going to get the truth right here on YouTube. You're going to get half truths. You're going to get half truths. And I'm here to tell you, because I seen somebody last night, somebody mentioned something about killers and snitches. Like, in a lot of instances, killers and snitches are in the same sentence. The killers are snitches, snitches are killers. You can't separate the two no more. You cannot do that. And truth be told, there was a lot of older dudes snitching back in the day we just didn't know. We didn't know how to get paperwork. We didn't too much think that the big homies were snitching because they laid the rules. They laid the footwork, the foundation, and we believed in that. We trusted that. And come to find out, a lot of them dudes was telling too. A lot of cases are online. You know, you could dig out cases now that you know names and places and participants, and a lot of faulty stuff went down under these reputables, these leaders, these co-conspirators' watch. So always remember that, man. You know, Rockhead, Melly Mel, a lot of people talk about the propaganda. Believe it, the propaganda was real. Sparks talked about it. There was a lot of propaganda, and it wasn't only to recruit dudes from BGF or BGF quietly and secretly starting other organizations. Nah, man, that go along with everything. That go along with robberies, nigga, killing a homie killing a homie, Crip killing a Crip, blood killing a blood. Man, that stuff goes way deep. That stuff goes way deep. So times have changed, man. The infiltration is deep. The trust factor is very poor right now. I'm going to say it one more time. If you're not deep into it or you haven't started gang banging, don't do it. If you in it, you in it, man. You in it. You in it. And you either going to stay true to it or you going to fall to your demons, man. But for YouTube now, it's therapy for a lot of us. A lot of us could come on and talk about some of the trauma that we seen or became part of. The do's and the don'ts of gang banging. All of that, the faultiness, the crookedness, the lies, the deceits, the betrayal, all of those type of things, man. We come on here, and this is basically where we get to talk about it, man. It's like we are on Sykes, and we're here to share this with you, share our own personal journey with you guys, in hopes that you guys either accept our apology or don't follow our same mistakes. And I see that with a lot of other YouTubers, man. They are crying out apologetically and letting you guys know they took the wrong road. They know they made some mistakes even in their best cripping. And a lot of dudes got turned out on drugs, man. We talk about these youngs. That's something I don't like. Maybe because I'm like caught in the middle. But we talk about these youngsters doing all these drugs. And we can call a youngster a crackhead. We can call certain individuals on the internet a crackhead. And we could talk about him smoking crack. But then we go to the next dude that was a crackhead, that was a smoker. And we praise him. We call him OG. We call him the big homie. We want advice from them type of guys. But we look down on a guy our age that smoke. Ain't that crazy? That's the hypocrisy of YouTube and the hypocrisy of gang banging where it's at today. So I'm going to say this, man. The youngsters ain't the only ones did drugs. The older dudes did drugs too. I come from an era where we probably had the least drug addicts. How you feel about Lil Sody passing away? Another youngster, man, another black man lost his life. I think it's a good thing that it didn't involve no gang, and there would be no gang retaliation behind his death. I think Sody was just trying to live his life, man, and change his life for the better. And I think he went to LA to celebrate with his folks, which I think, you know, some people don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that a lot of brothers still have love for their hood, go back to their hood for celebrations and certain events. But, you know, it's sad anytime we lose a brother, man. Especially a brother that can still reproduce or a brother that's trying to change his life for the better. But yeah, man. So I'm not gonna do the next 4 days talking about Crips because I think we already know where that's at, and I feel like I don't have to go indulge in that. I prefer that we as black men just get it together, man. And when I say get it together, I'm talking about being truthful, stop misleading, um, stop hiding shit, stop pointing fingers, stop blaming it on other people like you weren't a participant or like you did not do the same thing. It's like, nigga, if you so perfect, teach me how to be perfect too. We all want to be perfect, but that wasn't the black gang in Southern California philosophy. To be perfect, nigga, we criminals. We are criminals, and we have been duped by the system. We have been duped by correctional officers, by sheriff deputies, and even LAPD. You know, they set a lot of brothers up. They will come in our hood and tell us where the ETGs is at. They will come in our hood and tell us where the IFGs is at, and vice versa. Drop you off in enemy territory. You go to 77, they drop you off in the swamps. You know what I mean? Different things like that, man. We have to be truthful with ourselves, or we never gonna give good guidance to the next generation. That's why I like Cutes. Cutes is so significant when it comes to giving life lessons to youngsters and keeping it real and having a good reputation. I'm gonna say a great reputation in prison. Not that you need no trophy for going to prison. I mean, how messed up is our society that where if you ain't do 30 or 40 years, you ain't all that? That's how messed up gang banging becomes. Gang banging, and I wanted to get away from the gang banging, but gang banging is so messed up. If you ain't walked to level 4, if you ain't walked through the fire of riots and stickings, then you ain't nobody. How sad is that? That's a terrible state of mind. That's called arrested development. Our development has no growth when we arrest ourselves like that. But what up, OSG SAG? What up, homie? What's up with you? Oh, yeah. The Karen video, yeah. I want Accused to just peel out. Let her see that body and see if she would have screamed or yelled or called the police or what. We peel out on brothers. Well, we can't peel out on an old white Karen, right? But yeah, man, for real though, we can do a little better though. We can do a little better. You know what? Rockhead called me today, right? I'm sorry to use your name, Rockhead. I apologize. I'm going to do it anyway. You just got to be mad at me, or you got to call me and tell me about myself. But Rockhead called me today. Me and Rockhead was talking. And I not only like something Rockhead said to me, I also agree with Rockhead said to me. He said, that dude Sag, he said, Sag gonna spit the real. Sag is gonna spit the truth. And Sag has a great memory. See, Sag don't tell y'all everything he remember. You have to ask Sag specific questions for him to go back down memory lane. But Sag, I like when Rockhead said that because I know that to be true as far as I know. Sag will speak a lot of the truth, man, and not bite his tongue. So I like that about Sag, and I like that Rockhead acknowledges and likes that as well. We need more of that, you know what I mean? We need a lot more of that. That's all I'm going to say on that. But we got to quit what we lived in and gave our life to and still have some type of association to. We have to quit condoning the clown shit. We got to quit condoning the BS. We just got to call a ball and strike a strike. And if we are guilty, there's nothing wrong with admitting you're guilty. Now, what we not going to do is point out specific individuals that participated in activities that we all don't agree with. We not going to call them out. That's damn near part of our oath. Because part of your oath back in the day was the homie is never wrong. Even when the homie is wrong, he's still right. We've started wars or had fights and rumbles, shootouts with other hoods because we ride with the homie even though the homie was in the wrong. We'll have to deal with homie back in the hood. We'll have to deal with the inside politics when we get back to the turf or back in the pod or the yard. But that was part of the oath. So we're not going to just yell out names and put everybody on blast because all of us done something faulty at some point. You know what I mean? And, that's just the way it is. That's one thing I noticed about LA, California gangs in general is that you guys have a lot of OGs still around that's able to teach the young homies right from wrong. Not like that in my city. Yeah, where once upon a time it was like that in LA too. When they start gang banging, Crips and Bloods back in '69, they didn't really have that either. So it's something that developed over time. I talk about the generations. We have so many different generations now of gang banging throughout California, from San Diego to the Bay, that now we equipped with giving the youngsters some good guidance and good knowledge and information. We equipped to go over Crip and Blood history now. Where back in the day, they didn't have that. You banging for 3-4 years back then, you couldn't go back further than that. Now you got to talk about the avenues and the Slausons and businessmen and, those gangs in Watts and East LA and Northeast LA and stuff like that. It seemed like OGs were all locked up in the 90s into the next. That's kind of true. It's kind of true. I talk about in some of my stories how I mentioned it at least in 2 different stories how it seemed like a lot of people got out in '86. Seemed like a lot of people got out and went back in '89. So yeah, when the 90s come, especially when 3 strikes come. So let's say 94, 95 is the cutoff date. A lot of G's was gone. Because in 94, 95, a lot of G's caught their 3rd strike. On top of the guys that already got 10, 12 years back in the late 80s. Then in the mid 80s, dudes that got 25 to life, 30 to life, things like that. So yeah, there were a lot of G's, you're right, a lot of OGs was gone come the early 90s. Absolutely, that is a fact. That's a fact. Then you got to remember going back to '84 Olympics, they put felonies on a lot of young black men at the time. And so by the time 3 strikes come around, dudes done already had 2 and 3 strikes. Dudes had 5, 6, 7 strikes already when they made that law. So you was, at this point, you just had one time to mess up and you were in trouble. And if you didn't strike out, you was getting like 85%, 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years with 80, 85%. A lot of Mexican hoods in LA got the RICO in the 80s, spent a lot of good homies to the feds and black men. Do they open up new chapter sets on their own or do they get a blessing from other homies? I don't know nothing about this blessing from other homies, right? It's not like a motorcycle club, man. You don't need nobody's blessing to start up a set. What you need is to see if y'all gonna stay down against that rival, because a lot of times the smaller gangs, the late startup gangs, end up beefing with the larger dominant gang in the area. Those hearings to validate past crimes and strikes remind me of black magic practices. Yeah, I feel you, man. Hey, OG Steve, good looking out, man. I appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you, bro. If we start checking the homies right where they wrong at, it'll stop a lot of BS. That's true. I think what happened though, you had kind of like a Tiny Lope or Baby Gangster Rebellion, right? To where the baby gangsters and the Tiny Lopes were old enough to stand up on their own and to go against the OGs that were wrong or the OGs trying to pull rank. You know, we grew up. And so at that point, when we grew up, there were a lot of killers produced. There were a lot of killers in that all-out gangbang war throughout Southern California, to where LA was at its height of gangbang. And so now these youngsters, and they fully with the gunplay. So you can't tell me nothing. What Ice-T say, deuce, deuce, revolver, my problem solver. Dudes wasn't carrying no deuce, deuce stuff. Dudes gonna bust on you. And the artillery got bigger and bigger. As the dope came in and people got more money in the dope game, people wanted bigger guns, longer clips, better bullets. You better not mess with me, fool. I'll chip you. So that's when all that OG and older dudes can't check the younger homies. Yeah, to some extent you can, especially if you got their respect. But if you don't have their respect, you can't call no shots. You can't run nothing. So now you got dudes coming up under the Tiny Lokes and under the BGs. You got the YGs or the TGs or the second generation of Tiny Lokes. They done learned, fool. Nigga, I'll bust on you, fool. That's all they really know. That's why you don't hear a whole lot about shoulders, head ups, and all that. You don't even hear about the Thunderdome no more. When you hear about the Thunderdome, you talking about the 1990s. 4 years, you could say that. You know, it's not a very clear standard, but I usually go about a 3.5 year per generation. Like the way I break it down. I'm not saying my way is the right way. Don't get it twisted. But I'm saying, like, you got the 1953 dudes, the year they were born. Then you got the 1956 dudes. Now, if you were a 1956 dude, you made 1957 may fall in that. If you were 1957, 1958 may fall in that. But then I see like 58 to like 61 is a whole different era. Then you got the dudes that come after that. That 1961 to 1964, them treacherous dudes. Them dudes was treacherous. Then you could go basically, and I hope I don't offend the 1965 guys, but the 1965 to the 1969 guys. You could put a 1970 in there with a 1969 guy. So that's how I look at it personally, but it's a good method to figure out what generation a person belongs to, but it's not cut and dry though. You feel me? Because some dudes start earlier. Some dudes progress faster than others. So you could actually be a younger dude and be more OG or more harder than a dude that was born before you. James Robinson, what up? And then too, like I just seen somebody say, in my time it was every 2 years. Well, here go my thing too. This is the way I see it too. If I make it to junior high school in 1979, 3-year junior high school, because there's 4-year junior high schools, depending when you grew up, when you went to school. If I make it to junior high in 79, dudes that done graduated 3 years ago, I can't be in their generation. They're in high school. I'm just starting junior high school. How am they in their generation? Right? That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, football is here, man. I'm getting ready, dog. I can't wait to get home and replay the live. Jerry Allen, what up, homeboy? Southside, what up? Yeah, man, we're gonna get into the whole football thing soon. We're gonna also have, yeah, middle school, whatever, you know. Uh, Again, Goob's gonna come on and talk horses every Thursday. I'm gonna try to have my 49er fans lined up, my Steelers fans lined up, my Cowboy fans lined up. And we come talk some football. Feel me? We coming for the Miners. Well, I just don't see Ram fans participating on this YouTube, but we'll see. Ram fans like to play the back. Y'all somehow disappear when y'all don't win championship. Like Ram fans probably won't even sell out Ram games this year. You know how y'all do Pacoima Red. Come on, man, keep it 100, homie. OG Bam, what up, homeboy? The OG perspective. What name did you come up with for the sports channel? Bro, you that late? Capping with Kevmac Sports Podcast, man. Google it, subscribe, homie. Subscribe. I've been promoting it all week. First show is going to be August, I believe that's 15th or Tuesday at 7 p.m. SAG said we first, second, and third went first. We get older and do less and let those coming up get in. But we're lacing them, supporting, etc. How do you like the USC Trojans this season? I don't know who they picked up from high school. Obviously, I said before, I think in 2 years, the program would be on point. We're at that 2-year mark, so we'll see. I think USC is going to be good. I was looking at the odds from the odds makers. I think USC would basically, if we were to rank them by odds, USC would fall at number 6. Because they got Georgia number 1, Alabama number 2, then it's like Ohio State number 3, 4, 5, and then USC would be like ranked 6. So they got USC as the 6th most favorite to win it all in college this year. The man said, I hope the Cowboys lose every game. I don't think the Cowboys will lose every game. I don't even think the Cowboys will lose more than 8 games. Of course, they're not going to lose 8 games either. I'm just saying. Worst case scenario. I see L-Dub in the chat in a few hours. Low. That's a big wish, D-Lo. Not going to happen. When we hate, we have to at least be real in our hate, right? Just say I hate the Cowboys. I don't want to see them win Nathan. But they going to win some games, man. They got a cool defense. Dak Prescott, well paid. Good player, just chokes in big games. They got good receivers. They'll be all right. USC have a weak schedule, looks like. First 2 games, they favored by 30 plus. Chantasco Jenkins, good looking out. Yeah, you see Cripple. That's Cripple. Southside in the building. USC loses to Tulane last year, a.k.a. Tulane. Antoine Foster, good looking out, man. What's up? Like, subscribe, share. Chop game, drop knowledge. OG Sag, OSG Sag will be coming on to talk about them Buffalo Bills. I didn't know Sag knew his NFL like that. I've been knowing since I met Sag that he was a Buffalo Bills fan. I know he's a Bills expert. I didn't know Sag knew so much about pro football players, what college they went to, the USF. He know all the team names of the USFL. I couldn't tell you nothing about the team names in the USFL. I don't even remember LA's name. Kev, you see they raided a house in Vegas for Tupac? Yeah, that was Keefy D, yeah. Did you ever find out who stole your pager from the Dice game? No, I didn't, but that was some low budget bottom of the barrel. Man, them were sharks, homie. Them were sharks. Them were sharks. LA Express, that's it. Cuz leave the without and call it capping on KevMac Sports. I mean, shit, I think it's too late, homie. I already got an email and a channel address. You had plenty of time to offer capping on KevMac. Yeah. Well, it's capping with KevMac now. LA Express. They trying to pump up Crawford versus Canelo at 160. Boxing look like it's getting ready to get interesting again, man. As long as they leave out the fake boxing, you know, boxing's getting real again. What's up with your blood homie used to gamble with? I called him about a month ago. He's chilling. He's still out of state, living out of state, doing his thing. In fact, he's kind of like me. He's doing the Uber and complaining like me. And he's still gambling. But he's not on top of his game right now. But the homie is good. The homie's my homie for sure. Whether he's doing good or bad, whether he's mad or not, that's my homie right there. That's my real homie. I'm going to always have respect for that guy. What up, Big Lee? What's going on with you, homie? S Gang in the building. Southside Santana 6-0. That's what's up. Any Serrano in the building? Any Stockton in the building? Southside Pomona? Swamp? Centown? Stand up. OG Ron say he Raymond Lee. Yeah, he say, huh? He say. No, he is. Ron is Raymond Washington's first nephew. Keystone changed the game. That snow top went crazy. The Gamblers was my squad, Harvey. All right. Who was the Gamblers? Houston? Salute to the platform and the chat. Essays. East, South Side essays. KevMac put the emphasis on our S. Michelle, what's up with you, Michelle? How you doing? You coming out to Vegas next April with everybody or what? Hell no. Capping on KevMac would mean you lying on the show. Capping is short for sports handicapping, which means analyzing sports bets. Absolutely. Capping with KevMac. So capping can mean talking, right? Capping is talking. Capping is bagging, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking and we're going to be bagging. But capping is also short for handicapping, which is a term for those that analyze sports bets, particularly the point spreads. Yeah, I remember the Houston Gamblers, all right. LA Express. I couldn't tell you nobody else, though. SAG was saying names, and I'm like, damn. I don't know if he got the names right or wrong. I'm sure he got them right, but I'm saying because my lack of knowledge and memory is so little, I was lost. Cuse is such a low. Him and Melvin Farmer are the face of H-Ray OG. Cuse ain't from H-Ray. Big Gang James been showing up big lately, man. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Kev, you know how Ducky Hood got their name? Southside, SAG. How did Ducky Hood get their name? From Mac heads to cap heads. Ooh. Mac heads to cap heads. I'm going to do the prop bets too, Go Young DJ. You know what I'm going to do. So whatever you bring, that's fine. But I'm going to do the futures and stuff like that. You're probably talking about specifically like Ohtani, home run, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking of, will this team win 9 or more games? Will this team win 8 or more games? You know, stuff like that. Will this team make the playoffs? Will this team win the NFC championship? Will this team win a division? So we along the same lines, right, with the team props. I'm sure you have some player props. And I won't have no problem giving my opinion on that. From what Q said, Magnificent Seven was based in the area. It was based on people, very unique group of Crips, which later, when Magnificent Seven became defunct and Monster Cody and his crew arose, that became the Northside A-Tray Gangsters. Monster Cody, aka Papa North. Their name came from the movie The Wanderers. I never knew that, Southside. I'm glad I asked. I never knew that. So good question from the brother that posed that question about Ducky Hood. A lot of NFL stars played USFL. Yeah, I know that. I know Herschel Walker, Steve Young, Doug Flutie. I know that much, Sam. Like, I ain't that square, homie. You know what I mean? But you just got a lot of knowledge, homie. Exactly, Kev. If anyone's seen Casino movie Lefty Rosenthal, De Niro was a handicap. Compton girl giving love to Southside Compton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, hopefully everybody out there doing well, man. I keep saying it. I'm so excited about the sports channel. I will tell you this much. It's going to take time to grow, right? You know, I'm going to have to learn by trial and error of what I'm going to bring to the show and how I'm going to do the show. But nevertheless, we talk sports on here all the time. So we got that part down packed already. Hub Love. Ooh, that sounds good. Hub Love. RJ, what up, homie? Kershaw gives up home runs. Scherzer give up home runs. Verlander give up home runs. No, God, I didn't hear about Lil Sody, homie. No, I didn't, man. But rest in peace, Lil Sody, man. Barefoot Pookie and James Miller went to the movies to watch The Godfather. Then came the Harlem Crips, 1972. I don't know that James Miller went to the movie theater with Barefoot Pookie to see The Godfather. From my understanding, there was a conflict of interest, which is why they dropped the term Godfathers pretty fast. So I don't know about that, homie. From my understanding, James Miller was locked up when they merged with the Godfathers. So I don't know where you get your info from. I don't know if you from Harlem. I don't know if you knew James Miller. I don't know if Barefoot Pookie, he couldn't have told you that. I don't know where you got your info from, but all right, it's all good. What I can tell you is this, though. If you ever want to spread some lies or change the direction, the actual true facts of history, it's a good idea to go to other channels where the people don't know no better and people will bite into that. And people will take what you said and regurgitate it. I'll tell you that much, but here on this channel, I don't know, man. You're going to either get corrected, checked, or sarcasm from it. Absolutely, Jay. I'm just telling you what I know. You know, I don't know everything, but I've been doing this for a long time, man. Before YouTube, before the magazine, you know what I mean? So, absolutely, homie, absolutely, I was told the same, you know. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and throw his name out there because we did an article together in the magazine that I had, that me and Mark 7 and L and Baby S-Mac had. Russell Capers, Talib, he gave me a lot of information that he was a part of, that he knew of. And if he didn't know, he would just tell me he didn't know. He would tell me he didn't know. I also talked to one of the Heflins, Deadeye's brother, and he gave me some good information. So yeah, there's a lot of G Harlems that's still alive that know the real. What's his name? Din. Dennis Johnson, that is. A lot of OG Harlems still around. Big Bob, a lot of others, man. That's the G Homeboy. Absolutely, man, absolutely. Magnificent 7, OC5, CCC 5, 6 syndicates were rare. Yeah. Lil Al just said the Crips in Salinas Valley is straight. They handled their business. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, homie. That's what's up. Uh, Send a shout out to Lil Wild and all the rips up there in Salinas Valley, man. Let them know, stay on their P's and Q's, man, because it ain't over. Even if it's over in Salinas Valley, man, you know how they do. They gonna try to spill it over to 2 or 3 other yards. But tell them, man, the brothers out here appreciate them staying down and appreciate them handling their business. Can you still do the worm or the helicopter? Never could do the helicopter. Back too messed up to do the worm. Man, when I lift them little weights yesterday, man, my arms ain't sore. My shoulders ain't sore. You know what's sore? My back. Because the doctor told me I'm not supposed to be lifting nothing over what? What he said, like 12 pounds? I ain't supposed to be lifting over 12 pounds. Since we were speaking on the Harlems, if you spoke to Corning, me and Cornegay are very cordial. We hit each other up probably every other month, I'll say, every 60 days. Let's say every 30 for the Harlems to 60 for us days. Yeah. Either I'll reach out to him or he reach out to me. That's the homie. That's a real Crip right there. That's a real black man right there. Solid from the Crippin', solid to his blackness, solid in his politics. A good dude right there, man. Absolutely good dude. And he won't speak on anything that's out of his league. He won't indulge in Crip history that he's not equipped to speak on. He give all his respect to the older homies and his love for the Rips. Some of them Crip sisters went out of business. My man said some of them went out of business. King Tut Nutty started Ducky Hood right in Lime Hood territory. I saw the film Black August and it was pretty good. King Tut Nutty started Ducky Hood. I didn't know that. I ran across one Ducky Hood in Wayside. And he had this little raggedy D. No disrespect, but I'm gonna keep it real. He had a raggedy D that looked like an O, and he had an HC. This was a G nigga. He was way older than me. He had to be a G nigga, and he had this OAC on the back of his arm, right? And so, I didn't do the typical hit up. I did the cool hit up because I thought he was a homie. Not that he wasn't a homie being a Crip, but I'm saying I thought he was from Harlem. So I hit him up. I said, "What's up, cuz? You from Harlem?" He said, "What?" I said, "You from Harlem? I see the tattoo." He said, "No." He said, "I'm from Ducky Hood." I about passed out. Like, what the hell is a Ducky Hood? Like, nigga, what, y'all got a pond over there, nigga? Like, I just was dumbfounded, like, damn, Ducky Hood? I hadn't heard of Ducky Hood until I met him. I ended up in the pen in a cell with a dude from Ducky Hood, too, man. That's crazy how shit work. But one of my first cellies in the pen was from Ducky Hood, too. He got the hell up out my cell. He got up on my cell quick. I'm like, damn, I didn't mean to run the homie off, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, he was a G dude. His tattoo wasn't new either. Tattoo was an old tattoo. You could tell the new tattoos from the old tattoos. The size of them, you know what I'm saying? How fresh they look. Yeah, man, But hey, look, I'm going to check out, man. Just wanted to check in with y'all, man. I got busy doing some other things, man, trying to get this podcast ready for Tuesday, man. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for checking in, man. Can you do a video on Elm Street? I don't know, man. I could holler at some Elm Street, but guess what? Somebody watching right now is about to go get the Elm Streets. I've told y'all many times ago, man. If you want to see something somewhere else first, just mention it on here. You mention it on here, you'll see it somewhere else. So it's a good chance you probably won't see Elm Street on here based on your comment alone. But I'm out of here, y'all, man. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate y'all. Ducky Hood and so many hoods ain't in its territory any longer. Damn. That's true for a lot of games. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of games. That's true for some games. Y'all take it easy, man. Good looking out for the super chats. Appreciate y'all. Good looking out for the cash out. Appreciate it. I'm out.